Made of pen and ink, she can win you with a wing. Ain't she cute? Sweet Betty.
Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
I want to see my stepmama, stepmama, stepmama. I want to see my stepmama.
Our stepmama, the queen.
I've heard about your looking glass, looking glass, looking glass. I've heard about your looking glass.
And what it says is so.
Magic mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land. You're the fairest in the land.
Off with her head.
Okay, queen. What a shame. Poor Betty.
Always in the way. I can never play. My own mama would never say I'm always in the way. Don't leave me here alone. I don't want to freeze. Save me, save me! Thank you. Am I the fairest in the place?
If I were you, I'd hide my face.
Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's stressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bury me in my straight leg breeches, put on a box back coat and a Stetson hat. Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain so you can let all the boys know I died standing pat. Then give me 6 crap-shooting pallbearers. Let a chorus girl sing me a song. Put a red we go along. Folks, now that you have heard my story, say, boy, hand me over another shot of that blues. If anyone should ask you, tell them I got those St. James Infirmary blues.
Magic mirror in my hand now. Who's the fairest in the land?
You're the fairest in the land.
I'm just a poor Cinderella. Nobody loves me, it seems. And like a poor Cinderella, I find my romance in dreams. For that's where I meet my Prince Charming. When I'm with him, cares fade away. I'm just a poor Cinderella, but I'll be a princess someday. Cinderella! Cinderella! Get us ready for the ball. Hurry up, give a hand of pushing. Can't you see that we are rushing? Hurry up, don't get my bus. If you're too slow, why don't you I hope you enjoyed the ball. Nobody loves me.
Cinderella, pretty Cinderella, you're unhappy, I can see. I'm your fairy godmother, listen to me. Dry your little eyes, there is no need to cry at all. You're so kind and gentle, you'll go to the ball. Go fetch me a pumpkin, a large one, my dear, 6 mice and 2 lizards, and bring them right here.
they are. Oh. Oh. Here they are.
You can never be half as happy as we. I'm so overjoyed to be with you, and this is why I was almost cut up for pumpkin pie. My lady?
Oh. Oh.
Remember, when the clock strikes 12, you must be home by then. For should you fail to be in bed, you'll be in rags again. Remember, remember, remember.
Oh.
For Cinderella.
But I'll be a princess someday.
Poor Cinderella, I find my romance in dreams. Ba-ba-ba-bee, ba-ba-ba-ba-bee.
Silence! Who was that beautiful maiden? Have you no tongues? Then I, the prince, do now declare, whosoever this slipper can wear, my throne will share.
I'm with you.
I'm coming to life very, very shortly. This is going to be very interesting.
Now you see it's all your fault, why you impudent thing. Oh, shut up, you two. How dare you put your finger and slap your face. What are you going to do about it?
Like a poor Cinderella, I find my romance and dreams. This is just fascinating, isn't it? I think.
There's a little queen on the animated
Oh wait, hang on. Gotta
Wait
turn off
till
those
you
cartoons.
get a
Cut that out. Cut that out. Turn me on. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is C.Auzi+D.Fanatic, and welcome back to Animanic Commentaries. I'm terrible. I am incorrigible. I think she's ready. Oh, shit, she is ready. Damn. Oh, well. The timing on the whole, wowzers. Shebang. Oh, hang on, I need to put my headphones, plug them in, make sure the volume level is appropriate, and, why did I turn on video? No, that's not right. Looks like the audio's capturing.
You have to shout at this.
I'm sorry?
Am I gonna have to shout at this for it to be heard? What's this mic?
I don't know. I wouldn't imagine necessarily. Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
have to have some distance away from me. I don't want to get frosting on this laptop.
Oh. Well, don't worry. Audio capture is maybe a little quieter than my levels, but I can always just turn you up on my... Excuse me a second. I'm going to unplug my headphones. The cords got tangled up. That just comes from how I was storing it, honestly. Okay. Mic check, check, check.
Check. Blah, 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 blah.
There we go. Yeah, I just need to turn you up on my end, and that'll do just fine. So yeah, go ahead and keep your distance. Everything should be fine. Everybody can hear you nicely, and I don't have the movie squared up. There. Wait, I put that there. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see. Why am I... Oh, wait a minute. There you are. I was like, wait, where's my darling? My darling's little face is not on the thing. Oh no. Okay, let me go open up the movie. Okay. I need to make sure that the censoring is set well, so it's gonna give me a moment.
Did you say censoring?
Yeah, you know the blur.
Oh. I was like, what version of this did you get?
No, the problem is, remember how the migration video was taken down?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Isn't this public domain, though?
The character designs are. Not so sure about the short itself.
All right.
Yeah, the short
It's
itself and its songs are not. The character designs are public domain due to an error in the copyright year as it appears on the film. It is hilarious that even happened in the first place.
Yeah.
Like,
Funnily
oh
enough,
my
I was
God.
putting up Rudolph ornaments on the tree today, so.
That's nice. Okay. Okay, let me see. Just want to capture the width, so I need the 5:1 aspect ratio that I'm using, and the height that I know I'm using, and calculate that it should be... Okay, so 74 should be correct, methinks. Let me turn off the blur for a second. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, hang on. Wait, just gotta give a couple more pixels or so. I think that should fix. There we go. Hallelujah. Okay, now, yeah, I'm making the pixels on the censoring big. I'm making them large. NBC Universal can go stick a piece of dynamite up their own asshole. Swear to God. And if they flag me on this, I am going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad. Ugh. I said I wasn't going to fuck with NBC. I'll be right back. I said I wasn't going to fuck with NBC Universal. Not again. Not after the migration. Not after the migration thing.
You're cute when you're angry.
So just to make sure that NBC Universal appreciates things, and I will repeat this after we begin, so it won't be lost in the edit. I encourage everyone in this live stream to support the official release. Comcast may be evil, but so is every other corporation.
Totally missed it, folks.
Anyway, where's my fucking bed? Oh, there it is. Got stuck under all the stuff.
Tell him.
I've been cleaning my room, and so my vest was underneath the
You've been cleaning your room too, yay! Yeah. I've been doing that too, folks.
Yeah, it probably is.
First time in 5 years.
That's good. Just pull it over just a little bit. Okay. Wow. I don't know how to put on a vest anymore. Okay. So you said you had a cupcake? I want a well, actually, maybe I don't want a cupcake. I'm not in the mood for a cupcake. Maybe a salad. I like a salad. A fruit salad, though.
Sorry, hon. When you come over for Christmas, we'll have Christmas tree cake, so...
Okay.
There'll be no shortage of sweets. This is for my work.
I see.
My
Yes.
coworkers.
I think you mentioned that. You were gonna be doing some treats preparing. Let me set up that.
Yeah, and I made the cupcakes in between shifts, but I didn't have time to frost them because I had to wait for them to cool for an hour, and by that time it was time for me to go back to work.
All right, now I'll share this.
I was either do it now or wait until the morning, and I don't want to do that. Might as well keep my hands busy while we're watching this.
I had my headphones unplugged due to having to have to step away from the screen. You actually said that? Cute when I'm angry.
Don't worry. You'll have like that triple chocolate Christmas cake.
Christmas cake.
When you get here. Also, I bought candy for everybody coming over.
Christmas pudding, Christmas pie. Actually, I'm not really a big pudding guy. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Oh no! Shit! Honey, can you hear me? No. Shit, I don't think...
these treats are solely for my coworkers.
No, she can't hear me.
Just cause, God, we need treats.
Oh no! Shit. Hang on a minute. Fuck. That's so stupid. Oh, she vanished. Hang on. Dude, I should have done that first. God damn it. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, because I noticed the voice connection was in the red, and I was like, no, she can't hear me.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were just going off to get something for a second.
I did. What the hell? Why won't you capture? Oh no. Oh shit. Hang on. No. Your audio's capturing. I'm just talking about your avatar. Let me just hit the refresh on it.
So I'm trying to make sure I don't get frosting on the keyboard here.
Man. No, the whole thing's screwed up the avatar. Darn it.
It's turned out more pink than red, but oh well.
Oh! There it is. Okay, now I can bring you back in the stage. Boom, there we go. All right, I think we're just about ready to begin, methinks. All right. Okay, everybody who's been waiting, get set for synchronization. And also, because this will be lost in the edit, I'm only saying support the release as a performative thing. Yar har fiddly dee, motherfuckers. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and begin our official beginning. in a 3, 2, 1. And a Merry Christmas, all my goofy goobers, to everybody goofy good fucking lord, I fucked that up. And Merry Christmas to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with Comic Ozzy.
Yes, and I'm going to be sure to say Happy Hanukkah, too, since this is a rare year where Hanukkah actually begins on Christmas Day.
Ah, yes, dreidel, made you out of clay and all that. But we're not talking about Hanukkah, unfortunately. I mean, maybe someday we could do the Kim Possible Christmas special, or maybe something else. Maybe just pick a random episode from a TV series every now and then, because, animation is,
we need to watch Arthur's Perfect Christmas together.
We should probably do that. That's a fun special. But anyway, that's not what we are going to, we are going to be looking at Rankin Bass Christmas special, which I kind of teased last week, very confusingly, because my darling didn't remember the quote that I was referencing.
I wasn't picking up what you were putting down.
No, not really. I'm not putting anything down. Tonight we'll be watching the first Rankin Bass Christmas special, because I think I asked in one of the preludes, is like, we're doing a Rankin Bass Christmas special. Guess which one? Of course, we would do the first. So, honey, your familiarity with this Christmas special in particular, what was it?
I mean, who hasn't watched this at least once as a kid?
Squad.
Although I had the VHS tape, which had the edited version of it, which I didn't realize was the edited version. Like, it had the song Fame and Fortune. When I got the DVD collection and suddenly there were a whole bunch of new scenes and the song was different, I'm like, what happened? This isn't the right one.
So basically, what happened was obviously they wanted to shorten it for like airing on television, and they came up with the new ending for the Island of Misfit Toys. But every other release on home media has basically combined the whole version of the Christmas special.
It had the ending for the island, but
but that wasn't originally a part of the special. They added that later, and by doing that, they actually cut out the original ending, which actually cuts out Yukon Cornelius' character arc, which we'll get to. We'll have a lot of fun with that. As for the special, so as for me, it was 1994. My dad was 1 year old, and my mother wouldn't be born for 5 more years. And this Christmas special is basically on everybody's list as a Christmas classic.
Did you say 1994? Your dad was 1 year old?
Oh my God, 1964.
Will
you still feed me when I'm 64?
Okay. Yes, thank you. I heard you
right.
I
am so bad at this. Back in 1994, my father was barely a zygote, and then I was born in 1996.
I was like, I don't think
God.
I
should remember that my father was born in 63. God, I should remember that.
Oh God, honey, I would have been very concerned about you coming into existence then. Okay.
Imagine that. Anyway, but since we'll be dealing with the same people who own the rights to migration of all things, I encourage everyone to support the official release in any capacity. And as it were, I actually bought the Blu-ray the collection that includes every single Rankin Bass Christmas special, with only one exception because of rights issues. So
bring it with you.
I will bring it with me. Yes, I'm going to see her for Christmas. Yay. Then I'm gonna be leaving on Saturday. Woo! So I won't see all of you until the new year. But everyone get set for synchronization. Get set for synchronization. Go for synchronization. Then we'll go for history. All right, here it is, everybody. As long as you're all ready and willing and able to have a holly jolly Christmas, we're gonna go ahead and get this movie started. And speaking of the people who own this movie, the Blu-ray copy at least does feature their modern day logo. So just keep that in mind while you sync up your footage, whether or not you have opening logos or if it cuts straight to the black and white footage. If it cuts straight to the black and white footage, get started and make sure you're all keeping an eye on that blurry image on screen in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and here it comes.
Yeah. For people who didn't get the context, I'm doing this while frosting cupcakes for my coworkers. So,
Well, maybe.
if it sounds like I'm far away, that's why.
I mean, you do sound kind of far away, but I've adjusted the audio level, so everything's good there. And
Yeah,
now we officially begin for pretty much everybody who has it on DVD or something like that. Here it goes. And this is definitely one hell of a way to open. I can't talk about animation so much here because it's all live action footage and newspaper headlines. Bellwether may postpone Christmas. Oh no. That's one hell of a way to open up your first fucking Christmas special, isn't it?
Yeah, not like weather can ever postpone Christmas.
I mean, that's true.
You know, honestly, the Grinch got that better. Christmas comes just the same.
Yep. And here is the late, great Burl Ives. What a voice. What a voice. And for anybody who isn't familiar with this Christmas special, Squad, looking at you, you may have seen this in Elf, in the Will Ferrell comedy.
And this would start the long tradition of Rankin Bass shorts being hosted by some famous
celebrity or other.
Celebrity as a random.
He looks like Wilford Brimley as a
not
snowman.
really part of the show, you know.
Well, he actually is based off of Burl Ives. Haven't seen Elf either.
I mean, like, a lot of these hosts would not really even be part of the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I'm looking to anybody out there, probably writer or scribe, anyone who could tell us what that snow is made of. I thought like maybe salt, but it's too consistent and it's kind of matte. And no, it's not asbestos.
Look. Oh god, the body shaming here.
It is kind of body shaming, isn't it? Santa
Skinny shaming in this case.
Santa is basically like, he's a.
Gotta be careful, be sparing with this frosting.
Yeah, he's a. I love how he smoothly slides across the snow. It's very cute. And a little fun fact that maybe a few of you maybe would know, but maybe also didn't know. For the longest time, I didn't. The animation for this special and a few other Rankin Bass specials are done by a Japanese animation studio. And it's really kind of neat. And this is where we begin the song that we don't really properly hear in full until the very, very end of the special, but it still gives us a nice overture for a song that by this point everybody knows. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, as Burl Ives tells the story.
Like a light bulb. Don't you know the
and then we're also establishing the melodies for all the other songs we're about to hear through the show, which is pretty standard for a lot of overtures for musicals, I would imagine. And a lot of other Rankin Bass shorts as well. Like, I think of this, and I think of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and how they have basically a whole Disney movie or, like, Broadway show's worth of songs. Music and lyrics by Johnny Marks. And Burl Ives sings Holly Jolly Christmas, Silver and Gold, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, our titular song. Or as Athena P's YouTube channel would put it, the titular bitular. Now, Larry Romer as the... But if you missed it at the very, very front, there was a copyright error. Like, if you look at the year, and if you can read Roman numerals, it is not 1964. And because of that error, all the characters' designs are public domain. It's hilarious, and that's why you'd often see them in, like, random commercials and shit. So maybe we won't get in too much trouble for this one. Who knows? After all, it is only the visuals. And they're all fucked up and blurred anyway, so who cares? Aww, how cute. That sound effect has become iconic. And sometimes it's a little unbearable, just sometimes a little unbearable, but most of the time it's all right. Donner and his darling doe. And also, I really like this Santa with the deerstalker hat. Out here making me think he's a detective. And not realizing that that's just a hat to keep people's head warm. It's a very strange abnormality, he says. I can actually see, if you look under Rudolph and the mom, you can actually see a seam in the floor. When you think about it, that's probably the part where they split the floor open in order to do some, like, you know, to open it up. And if you watch where the characters move, you'll see, like, little holes tend to form in the ground because they'll literally poke holes in the stage in order to make sure the characters are able to stand up. They're supported from, like, underneath the, stage. That motion blur was really interesting. I mean, it's kind of the only technique you can do for that is by actually moving the puppet in real time in order to get that effect. His animation is super cute. You see how small their mouths are and the way they have to probably just use like tiny little tools in order to... Which he does not have yet. No. Now that's a very interesting licking sound effect. He was born with it. How are you being so cruel about that? Honey, I think a lot of people could probably attest to there's a queer reading for this story, most absolutely. And I think even if the moral isn't fully applicable, like, directly, that is some Godzilla looking ass shit. The noise was definitely, yeah, the noise that nose makes. Does bioluminescence actually make a noise like that? Like fireflies, does it actually make a noise? I was like... So... Probably their nimble fingers. But if it's, like they're moving along, but he can't. Absolutely love the way they like gelled some like little nylon hairs together. Like you can tell they've like glued things together to make these specific shapes, so that the hairs don't like fly around. And only their wings, not their lights. Well, that's pretty standard. Man's got a very, very special interest. Now, this character is an absolute hardhead. And is responsible, hello Dylan, is responsible for a modern meme. Like, it took a long time for, like, for it to come into existence, but eventually memes existed for this special. Eventually. Or for the special being as old as it is, I'm surprised it took as long as it did. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I do love that the snowman has the gloves on. Kind of makes his hands very nice looking. And he's finally growing into his little antlers. It is interesting that this is not the only precedent for reindeer having, like, they look like normal deer. But they just, you know, they call them reindeer. It's like they look like normal reindeer, they look like normal deer that you might see, like, in the American Northwest or shit like that. And you can actually see in his right leg there, you can see the wire that goes up into him in order to make his nose glow. So, like, it is an actual tiny, tiny custom-built light bulb for his nose. And then they also shine, like, a red spotlight on his face for the extra glow, which hits his face. It's interesting, they play an instrumental of Rocking Around the Christmas Tree here, which is not a song in the show. And so far, we've got, like, Rudolph and Hermie, like, feeling like they don't fit in. And it's like, that's an interesting way to introduce your characters and just their nonconformity, as Sam put it. It's like sometimes you'll get like
sorry, something happened that needed my immediate attention. I'll tell you about it after this. I don't want to say it online.
That's fair. Anyway.
Okay.
Elf improve.
Anyway, oh, did we see the coach yet, or?
Not quite yet. And then here's what I can only assume was like, this was...
His voice changed.
Like, I love that some people have come up with the explanation that that's his kiss-ass voice.
you know what, yeah. But even as a kid, I noticed, like, what happened to his voice?
It could just simply be that they either did a retake, like, at the end, or it was, like, one of the original takes for this character.
This was cut on the VHS tape, too.
Well, it was trimmed down. I don't imagine it was, like, cut entirely.
Yeah, trimmed.
Because, like, they can't completely cut it. But, like, but I believe it was, like, what they did was they had it at this point, and then right after this, they cut to another shot, and they edited the end of the song so that it didn't actually go through the key change, which is actually really, really well done. Like, I've actually seen that edit, and it's not too... And it's not a bad edit.
This whole orchestra wasn't on the VHS, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the 1995 airings when they changed the ending and shortened bits of the special.
Uh-oh, I'm running out of frosting.
Oh, he dropped his little thing. And I think
definitely did not say this twice in the VHS.
And here they get a little key change.
At this point,
yeah. I love the little gag of the feather poking him in the face.
Was I the only one who thought he was cutting off his ear?
No, like, it looked like he was going for his ear. Dude, what are you doing?
I didn't even realize it was a feather that was poking him.
I think in this cleaner footage, it's a lot easier to notice. But the stop motion's a little wonky. But I mean, that's just true of these older specials. So you see that all the female elves are blonde, and actually you can see their hair. And here's the meme. But you'll see that some people come up with Hermes trans headcanons because of that, which is interesting. Which is actually something that people have done with Remy from Ratatouille, because he's smaller, like the female rats in Ratatouille, because, like, that's the only difference between them and real rats. But it's like, I don't feel like a girl, sir. It's like, well, that's fine. But it's like, but I don't think I want to make toys. Like, what?
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell
Like
you
they
a
draw
fun
the
story about
line
my.
at wanting to be a dentist.
Okay. Can I tell you a fun story about my uncle and Herbie here?
Sure, yeah.
Hermie. Yeah. Yeah. So, my uncle, he loved this character so much that he wanted to be a dentist. He tried going to dentist school, but he found out he didn't like it. And then my mom was like, "No, you never wanted to be a dentist. You wanted to be the guy voicing the elf who wanted to be the dentist." And so that's how he became a voice actor.
That's really awesome.
He doesn't get as much work as like D. Bradley Baker, but you know, he's done some video games. He does audiobooks.
That is really cool.
He wasn't totally Spies.
And here's the reindeer.
Character.
Here's the coach.
I have a plushie of him.
Coach Comet. Right. I love his vibes.
Now, speaking from a coach perspective, it's normal for them to be a little bit tough because you want to push the kids to their limit. Like, all right, you little sissies. Oh, maybe not sissies, but...
All right, maggots falling!
No, like I told one kid today, like when I told him what to do, he said, that's too much. Like, you want to go to level 4? Well, level 4, we're going to make you do even more than this, so try it.
Off he goes for the races.
You know, that kind of, tough love. Okay.
I love that he admits that. Danny DeVito vibes. Yeah, I guess I can see Danny DeVito. I love that you can see from like a Japanese animation perspective and being influenced by like old like American cartoons that sometimes they blink with their pupils, which is really fun. So you look, and then they're doing
understood.
And they're doing the red. Yeah, they do the red spotlight to make him look like he's blushing. It's a very old film technique, but the problem is that they use that same spotlight to expand Rudolph's nose's glow, which means it's like I always thought, how is his nose glowing when it's covered like that?
Now, something I never understood is why the girls aren't in the takeoff practice.
It's a sexism thing, which we'll get to later.
Here's another sexism thing. You know that female reindeer are the only ones that keep their antlers in the winter.
Yeah, they don't really.
And the male.
And yeah, you can see his eyes.
The male reindeer.
Yeah. Is this comic and Dia flirting?
Are we? Oh, you mean what they were doing?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, are we flirting? I don't know what.
The blinking. The blinking with the pupils, as I mentioned before.
No, my flirting is more subtle. Well, not really. I don't think you heard my flirting earlier because I think you were getting something.
Yeah.
I said you're cute when you're angry.
Yeah, Squad put that in the chat. Light bulb puss? Is puss? I thought puss was just used to refer to their face or their their mouth. Right in the push, right in the kisser. Not as their nose. Now look at that angry eyebrow. Man is mad as hell.
Now that is not a good coach.
You won't be joining any reindeer games. And then we hear a sad version of the song because everybody knows the reindeer games line from the song.
Racist. What is it? It's not ableist because it's not really a disability.
No. Well, as I was saying before, you might have heard me. It's like a queer reading because like he was just born like this, and everyone's just, digging on him, and it's like that's not fair.
It's prejudice.
It's prejudice in a general sense.
It's not towards race or anything. It's just prejudice.
Yeah. He just can't help it. He was born this way.
Okay.
Here's a nice little song. It's a nice little. What would this song be like in the musical structure? It's kind of a pick me up number.
Yeah, and Clarice is what I like to call the obligatory love interest, who
She is kind of an obligatory love interest.
who essentially only exists to be the main character's love interest. At least she has a sweet voice. And it's kind of cute.
That is true.
But, you know, it's the 60s, so this happened a lot.
Yeah. What part are we on? Oh, There's Always Tomorrow. We're about to get to the animals singing the verse right here.
Oh. This lied. This is not enough for 24 cupcakes. I did 22 and I ran out.
Oh no. You're gonna need more icing.
Oh well. At least I used it. Better I used it all up than had too much left over.
And that's true. And this is
excuse me. I gotta go wash my fingers.
And this is a great little. I love that setup. I love that. I love that establishment. But yeah, I think like the Rudolph character designs got a little squonked, like when Rudolph would appear in future stop motion specials. Probably because it was done by a different animation studio. It was like his design always looked best at this point in this version. And again, it's really hard to tell what that snow is made of, but it is a very nice, consistent material. I'm watching this on Blu-ray. It is so clean. I love being able to see all the details I was never able to see as a kid. I was like, I always could tell that their mouths and their hands were a little dirty because they got the animator's hands all over them. And I love how we come and like we call back to our previous number for these characters. It's kind of an upsetting number for them initially, but now it's kind of, you know, we're gonna accept ourselves instead of, you know, being down on ourselves. Mm-hmm. Built on mutual understanding is what their friendship is. And I love these bits coming up here. And this calls back to their previous lyrics. Also love the woman voicing Rudolph. Can't quite think of her name off the top of my head. And I love how bitter they repeat these lines because it's not a matter of feeling sorry for themselves. It's like, we're gonna accept it and we're gonna move forward. And this is a nice little bit. And I think they're using the same material for the snow. Is it salt? I really can't tell. I feel like there'd be a little more glittering off of the light of it if it was salt. But as DF said before, there was a new song added called "Fame and Fortune" to other airings on like NBC, CBS. But then later on they would bring back a couple of misfits and chopped up the song horribly in order to make it Billy Mae Richards, yes. And they misspell her name in the redone end credits here. And here he is. It was really interesting because like Disneyland had been around for like let's see, 1964, 9 years up to this point. And what's really interesting is that they would open the Matterhorn like I don't remember what year the Matterhorn opened, but they didn't get the Abominable Snowman in the Matterhorn roller coaster until later on. And the Abominable Snow Monster in this special has blue skin on him. And it's like, hey, wait a minute, I wonder if Disney took influence from this Christmas special, me wonders. And the Imagineers, which is really interesting. And one of the most fun, she was Tenderheart in the, yeah, she does sound like Tenderheart. You might want to quiet down, you're gonna attract the Abominable Snow Monster. Yeah. Yep. And here comes Burl Ives, Sam the Snowman, to just sing a little song, just sing a little interlude. I think, like, in terms of things they could have cut for TV airings, they could have just cut this song, you know? And I never saw this song cut for television. Because really, I mean, it is important to Yukon Cornelius' character arc, but it's simply a song that's sung by the narrator. It's not really a song sung by Yukon Cornelius. So it does have its use case in the musical structure of everything, but at the same time, for television airings, you could probably just cut this. Which would make it a lot better than cutting the, or at the very least, cutting out, you know, half of the song. Like they did with We Are Santa's Elves. I mean, he's not wrong. Otherwise, you kind of just have your bog standard pine tree just sitting there. Menacingly! And here they are with their tiny little Christmas light bulbs flashing on and off. It's like they could have cut half of the song and just cut to the ending here. And then saved a little at the end is room for Yukon Cornelius' character arc. It's like he's out here searching for silver and gold. Yeah. Mush. I love all his sled dogs, like a dachshund, a poodle. Like, none of these dogs are actual sled dogs, and it's absolutely hilarious. Uh-oh, here he is. The Bumble Snow Monster. Uh-oh. Well, move it! Move it, move it! And there's the collie. It's not even on. What are you yammering about? It usually looks so tall next to the mountains until they swap out for the tinier versions of these puppets. Because the Abominable Snow Monster's actually not a very big puppet. So they just use visual tricks like using smaller versions of the main character's puppets. And you'll notice those little details like, they look really tall next to those mountains sometimes, don't they? Yep. Yep. Get away! Get away! Yep.
I'm back.
And then they like poke a hole. So they had to poke a hole. They had the blue cellophane for the water there. Yep. Yeah.
You are, man.
Hudson Bay.
He's like, I've lowered my standards.
He really doesn't know what he wants, which is really interesting. And the Northern Lights, very interesting effect. And here comes that misogyny that I was alluding to earlier. Yep. And then the narration right here. Then she cries for a minute. And then... like,
you know what? That is very subtle.
Just have a little...
Like, no sooner did the man in the house leave, did they go anyway.
then she let out her emotions and then was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go anyway. Like...
Yeah.
He's my
son,
son,
they
too.
didn't understand that part about women in the 60s. Like, the man in the house will tell me one thing, but I'm still gonna do it because I'm a mother.
And besides, it's not like Donner didn't get into trouble either, so...
Yeah, so that's one thing about Clarice, that, he's bold enough to go out and look.
It's like, where's Rudolph? It's like, she really does care. And besides, she thinks he's cute.
I saw like the honest trailer for this, and when they just summed up the whole plot, I'm like, when you do take it out of context, the plot is pretty convoluted.
And here's our, and I think here's the rest of our queer allegory in a way.
The rest of my ornament collection.
Yeah. Poor guy.
You can easily just change your name.
But what if that's the name he wants? And that's part of the problem.
What even is the Dolly's problem?
Oh, we'll address that. The creators have said that it's psychological problems. But it actually makes sense when you see the ending they came up with for them. Most wonderful day of... God, it's so hard to not sing along. I love these songs. I think they're using kind of like a shiny plastic for her mouth forms.
Yeah, you could...
Which is really nice.
Japanese animation, that's why the lip sync is all off.
I mean, it makes sense. I love these songs. They're so good. It's such a nice... And now we get to hear about all the things that they couldn't change. They were born this way. You can't help it.
See anything wrong with that. That would make it hard for him to move.
And more cellophane.
I guess we like peanut butter and jelly.
And I want to emphasize, bird that doesn't fly, not can't. No, that's a can't. It's like, it's really sad that this is the situation that they're in. You can really see how tiny Rudolph is compared to a normal human man, right?
This guy was only in here for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. But I love how he serves as a...
And doesn't bother actually looking for kids who actually want them. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, the more I look at Rankin Bass specials, the more I realize these are like the most convoluted
I
plot
love
lines
this.
ever.
Well,
Like the queen I was kicked out on foot.
I love that moral. It's very... I mean, maybe part of the problem is King Moonracer has looked, but has never been able to find them.
I'm just wearing a little bellhop
The concierge. It's really sweet, and I love how the houses are made
the
for
bellhop hat. The concierges are more sophisticated.
I love how Yukon Cornelius is so big in here. You see how greasy and dirty the animator's hounds must have been. Just look at Rudolph's forehead. But I love the houses are toy sized, so Yukon Cornelius is absolutely massive in them, and Rudolph looks pretty normal sized coming out of them. And also kind of paints a picture of how short Santa Claus is, because he doesn't make Rudolph look so tiny. I mean, he is an elf himself, as the Night Before Christmas or A Visit from St. Nicholas says. Yeah. It's really sweet. Back into the Northern Lights, back into the wild yonder.
Honey, am I coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through. You're coming through.
I don't know, because I was trying to finish a sentence and you kept talking as if I wasn't talking.
No. This is a nice little reveal here. When I saw his tongue, I realized that he was drinking out of a river.
He went through a growth spurt.
It's like, how long? He's definitely got some strong hindquarters back there. And they're still being... Ooh, Rudolph Angie. That is an angry eyebrow. It's like, forget you guys.
It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, go on, laugh. But I'm not gonna...
I won't give you the satisfaction. I guess reindeer do. I guess deer and reindeer in general, like, most animals do have a shorter time span before they mature to a certain point. Though all future Christmas specials would use the smaller Rudolph design because it's more iconic.
Hold on.
More adorable.
What do you mean you'll never get your sleigh out the ground? Don't you have a lot of backup reindeer?
Whoop.
Ooh.
Those designs might not be the best. Seriously, what is the material that they're using?
They could have been yellow.
Well, they wouldn't be yellow. Most Inuit are not depicted as yellow in these.
I just say, of course, I'm just saying. I mean, they could have been worse.
You're right. But I think even like in racial character, they're not.
I mean, that's kind of the point, but never mind.
Uh-oh. And this is part of the trick, is that they have minuscule versions of the characters to make the Bumble look absolutely massive.
He was freaking holding her by the neck.
Yeah. The squad out here playing Bella's role of wanting to hug the big, dangerous creature. Ah, shit.
Didn't take long.
And of course they got the giant Bumble legs from earlier in the short to have the normal Rudolph.
Yeah.
Dum dum. After he pretty much left him in the lurch. He finally got the dogs to mush.
You sent them right on. Okay, so you did have some involvement in the story.
Well, yeah, he'll never forget that Christmas. How are we gonna cross that chasm? Unmush. We gotta get in there. And you'll notice Yukon Cornelius looks like a giant because he's gonna walk in, and he's gonna be pretty large size compared to the background because, again, all they do is swap out for smaller versions of these characters. It's like you look at the cave size and look at how minuscule everyone looks. The cave looks massive. And they got to film it from specific angles to make the cave look bigger. But yeah, we'll see him walking in a minute. Yep.
Knows his bumbles.
And you can see like a little shadow on the ground. It was really, really clever. And again, like they use the tiny versions. And you can't really do lip sync on these really, really tiny puppets because they're so small. And then he walks in. Yep. And he looks, and it's like, you don't think about it, but that background art, like they have to film from specific angles to make the characters look smaller in it. Which is really clever.
And no mouth movements.
Yep, because they had to use the tiny version up against Bumble.
That always threw me off.
And his twofers and chompers are gone.
He did that pretty quickly, too.
Mans was built to be a dentist. He's gonna have to live off of oatmeal for the rest of his life! It's even got tiny versions of the dogs. Ah, shit. Oh no.
Again, no mouth.
Yeah, they're using the tiny versions again.
Really?
I think everybody
Why'd
needs
you
to
say it that way?
Yeah, why'd you phrase it like that?
Just say that we have to go back to Christmas Town. All you do.
Just the women? Yeah, we're gonna go back to the Isle of Misfit Toys. Yeah. I love how...
Like no license or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least they apologized.
Yep. Which is what's really great. They use the tiny versions of the puppets. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And this comes through their character arc and their journey.
I love the way you said that.
Yeah.
Humbles bounce.
Man, everyone getting their assignments done at the last minute. They're supposed
Just
to
stuff
be in
just
bed.
stuff your belly with pillows. You don't have to actually be fat. You know, the padding might keep you warmer anyway.
It's part of the idea, I imagine.
Yeah, because apparently Santa's magic doesn't apply to the weather.
Damn. I love that. What happens during January through November? Yep. Bum bum.
You can't stop Christmas from coming. It will come just the same.
Yeah.
And of course, once it actually benefits you.
Not really, because they did apologize before this point.
Okay.
And also, it just so happens that Rudolph has found a place where they like him. Well, I guess not where they like him, but where he can, where it's not just like, it's like, it's not just that they apologize. It's not just that they accept him. It's that his uniqueness helps to save the day, which is actually really nice. It's like, do what you can, and like, no, you did not. See, this is that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I also want to point out that Santa only hitches up 6 of the other reindeer. He really only needed 1 more reindeer, so missing Donner was gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because of the way
you
the
know
reindeer are
what? You got a
arranged. point.
point, because at least here they did apologize, whereas like in Dumbo, there was no apology.
They really didn't.
Well, except maybe from the crows, but
Yeah.
not from like the terrible elephants.
No. They were kind of like Donner, like I knew it would be all right. It's like at least Donner apologized earlier, but it's like don't bullshit me, man.
I like how the elf is wearing sunglasses while hitching him up.
Now I can imagine the reason why having Donner in the lineup of everything was a problem is actually when you really think about it. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen at the back, closest to the sleigh. So it would be very uneven. That's part of the problem. Now that was fast.
How do you know that's not from the other way around?
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen. And the reason is because you call on the reindeer furthest from the sleigh to lead, and then call the strongest reindeer at the back of the sleigh in order to, pick up the pace.
Is that really a thing? I thought he was calling from the back to the front.
Well, if you think now Dasher and then on Comet, it's like now would be the leaders of the pack, you know? Which is why Donner is able to be here on the ground. All you have is Rudolph leading Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, and Cupid. So Donner and Blitzen are staying home this year.
And here's another cut bit from the VHS.
And the conclusion to Yukon Cornelius' whole journey, the culmination of everything. That's a very anime thing I notice, is like fainting from like oh my god, you absolute buffoon.
Oh, now I notice the awkward cut now that I've seen the the awkward cut.
So remembering Dolly has like psychological issues. Her line here is very, very sad. Dasher and Dancer are the fastest, so they have to be at the front. Then Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen are the strongest and have to be at the back. That is so fucking sad. No dreams left to dream. That is so...
Only reminded of the amazing digital circus. I didn't watch the recent episode with you, but that one hit a little too close to home.
Here they come. Rudolph's back. And to think, like, they had to remake the puppets in order to do this ending, and they did a really good job. Is that the wire from Rudolph's... No, they probably still got it going up his leg. Maybe that was the wire for, you know, having them fly up. And they're even able to replicate the shot from the end of the original special pretty well.
And suddenly it's snowing.
Well, that was originally him at the North Pole. Him waving them off at the end of the special originally.
Yeah, but like now I see it. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't snowing in that shot, and then it goes back. I see it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And the original end credits actually had, like, all of the end credits on Christmas presents. So what you'll hear, and so you hear that, like, sound effect.
I did wonder.
That was originally with the Christmas presents. Again, it's not can't fly, it's a bird that doesn't fly. But, so he goes off. And no, the elf didn't push him. That's another thing where it's like, we thought the scissors were for the elf's ear. They were actually for the feather in his cap. And that's footage from the original ending. And I can actually see the wires holding up Rudolph.
Wonder, like, well, then what did they have for the credits if they didn't have this whole epilogue with them dropping off the toys?
Well, the credits were written directly on Christmas presents, and then they were being thrown off the back of the sleigh. Musical
I'm glad
director,
they did
Maury
end up
Laws.
changing the ending.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that whole Island of Misfit Toys would have just been...
Pretty unresolved, yeah.
A big lip gator moment, essentially.
I mean, not
Never
really.
brought up again.
It ties into how Rudolph and Hermie feel. It's very important for their
Yeah,
journey.
I know, but they never came back. If they never came back to it,
Yes, but
I didn't see it in its original version. It would have made any sense.
I suppose you're right. But that is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and my goodness, what a classic, honestly. What a delightful little special. It's got its problems. It's got its sexism.
Like most things in the 60s.
Some of the animation's a little wonky, like, holy shit, that elf was gonna cut off the other elf's ear. Or like, what? Or like, did that elf just push the bird who doesn't fly off the sleigh? It's like, no, it's just a little wonky. It's just a little wonky animation is all. So there are some problems, but for the most part, the animation is terribly charming. And charming animation always holds up. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Like, some people will say that there's some bad animation, like legitimately bad animation that does not hold up. But when the animation itself is super, super charming, it really holds up. Like we watched the Sinbad, that Sinbad movie of the Veil of the Mist. That was bad. And it's very funny because of how bad it is. But I wouldn't say the animation's charmingly bad. Rudolph definitely is. And a lot of the Rankin Bass Christmas specials, it's mostly limited animation. I think the 2D specials tend to be better animated than their stop motion ones, but all of them are charming in their own right.
Yeah.
I'd say their stop motion actually did get a lot better over time, though, because like I'm putting the Jack Frost special in my brain, which was one of the last few stop motion ones, and the stop motion in that was really, really good. It was actually really good by comparison. It's like all of the movement, all of the acting was very clear. There was no confusion over what a character was doing. Yeah, it was definitely a little floaty, but you know that was just kind of an aesthetic that they went for, making the actions very floaty and fun in a way. But all in all, what a delightful little special. You have anything more to add there?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to come back to this. Though, you know what, like I said, the more I watch Rankin Bass specials, I realize that their plot lines are always so convoluted. And I'm like, you know, because when you say them out loud, I'm like, oh, damn, like, they kind of went way off course.
I think some of them got weirder, especially over time. Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. No. Rudolph's Shiny New Year, anyone? That was fucking weird.
Yeah,
And that's even
like, you
taking
don't really
Christmas
think
in
about
July
much as a
into what-
kid, but as an adult, you're going back on this to like, so where'd they get the idea of this winged lion going on and finding misfit toys, and why specifically a winged lion?
Probably the regality, probably the regalness of a lion.
I know. It's just kind of random when you say it out loud.
Well,
and
I
also
mean,
the elf and the dentist thing.
well, I mean, it's kind of an Aslan thing, like a lion with angelic wings. Like you're just kind of compounding on that, and it's like, and actually, if you take a queer reading of this movie, having essentially a godlike figure in this story care for the misfit toys, is like it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
I mean, like, you have the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it's like, we got all this from one song, and we added an elf that wants to be a dentist, a prospector who's looking for silver and gold in the North Pole,
all of
and
it.
a bunch of misfit toys found by Wing and Lion. Yeah, when you say it out loud, it's like, where did they get all this?
But when you put it all together with the songs and musical numbers in the show, you actually realize, oh my gosh, Rudolph has, it's like, I was born this way. Again, going with a queer reading of this story, it's like Rudolph was born this way, he can't help, and he's ostracized, but now he's found people like him who are ostracized, and it's like, it seems like nobody cares, but at least with Misfits, it's like we feel like we're at home. And then the Island of Misfit Toys.
Even among misfits,
we're misfits. It's just like, but King Moonracer makes a point. It's like it's like you and the toys are akin to each other, but a living creature can't hide itself on an island. And it's like, you've actually got a very good point.
Even though he literally hides himself on an island too.
He's not hiding himself.
King Lion.
He's up in his castle. He's got a castle. He's not hiding. He's not hiding away from the world necessarily. Where was King Moonracer in Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July? He's kind of important to Rudolph's backstory. Anyway,
I hadn't seen that one in a while, so we'll watch that one later.
Yeah. But all in all, great special. I think King Moonracer is probably the one who comes out of complete left field. His purpose is to bring the unwanted toys to this island where he might eventually find children who would love them, but of course he hasn't found any, but maybe Santa can, and that's why he goes. And that's why he goes on his journey. So all in all, I think that's it. So this'll be it for 2024. God, what a fucking year. We finished the Disney marathon this year. We did some very, very interesting movies between the Sinbad. And we got one takedown. We got a takedown. Goddamn. But hey, it's been a journey, and honestly, I don't think I'd change a thing about it. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but all in all, I'd say it was a good year for animation stuff. And like as well, like in the movie industry, we had Wild Robot was really good. Spellbound on Netflix was really good. I've heard nothing but good things about some of the other Netflix things, like A Rand in the Dark, and I still haven't watched it. So maybe you know what? Maybe we'll do a Netflix binge. Maybe we'll just watch all those films I've been meaning to watch on Netflix. All those animated films. It's like, cause like there's plenty of them that Universal can't flag me for everything. I mean, after all, Netflix didn't flag me for fucking Spookly the Square Pumpkin, so so we'll probably be fine. But yeah, Inside Out 2 was good. But all in all, thank you all so much for joining us on this holly jolly adventure. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. And until next time, take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. To all of us, happy holidays and a joyous new year, everybody.
Oh, as best a year you can get. It'll be a year.
It'll certainly be a year. Good night. And we are offline.